said that this is the 8-Bit Eric Show.
What's up, everybody? It's 8-Bit Eric, and it's time to hit the ice, grab your sticks, and put on your breezers, because this is ice hockey for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Published in 1988 for the NES, ice hockey brings to you hard-hitting hockey action in all its 8-bit glory. Now, the game was and is still a semi-faithful translation of the sport of skates and sticks, presented with the same silly sense of humor and mischief that Nintendo had during this time. Now, granted that, the earlier titles in the NES era, as far as sports go, weren't really considered that great by many players, but ice hockey is one exception to the rule. Ice hockey was more than a welcome addition to the NES sports series, as you can see. Now, back when ice hockey was first released, it wasn't alone. There was a worthy rival by Konami called Blades of Steel. Now, the debate is, these two are the best ice hockey games that you can get on the NES. In my opinion, this one just edges a little bit just because I'm not a real sports fan. Sorry, kill me. The gameplay of hockey is neat. You can select a team of up to 5 players comprised of 3 different body types. The first is fast, but also weak. A bender, so to speak. Second is overall average, and the third is a slower, fatter, but real power-hitting type of player. Lay off the cheeseburgers, buddy. But hey, all due respect, every team needs fat guys. This brings a unique concept of strategy to the game, because while the skinniest players are the fastest and a good choice to send into face-offs, they don't have the muscle to push over other players. That advantage is held by the fatter, bigger, beefier hockey players that like to throw their weight around and let fly the game's most powerful slap shots. The average-sized players walk the line between the two, offering a good balance of acceleration and aggression. Once you've drafted your team, it's time to get out on the ice, where the control is spot on. The movement and control of these players make this one of the most easily controlled games of all time, and it doesn't feel broken at all. It's very fluent. You basically just shoot and pass when you have possession of the puck, or you can switch between players and tackle when playing in offense. It's all nice and simple, as you could expect from a game of this era. Now, ice hockey isn't the deepest or most accurate simulation of the sport. There's only 5 players on each side, for example, where real hockey has 6. And it's limited in its other options too, just like NES soccer, for example. It only offers a handful of teams to choose from, each of which is simply just a statistically equivalent palette swap of the other teams. However, ice hockey does offer something that soccer didn't. Fun. Its fun factor is indescribably, but inarguably better. And I think a big part of it is a little touch such as selecting your own combination of players on your team. Ice hockey is a fine example of an NES game that is still as enjoyable today as it was years ago. And no doubt about it, the NES cartoonish stylish graphics are here, which adds a lot of charm to the game. If you're expecting any depiction of reality through the graphics, go to Blades of Steel. I think the lightheartedness of this game, from the fat, medium, and skinny players to the squash face mask goalies, adds a nice appeal to this. And even though there's only one ice hockey stadium, it looks good. Despite its setbacks, ice hockey has aged extremely well. And also, the controls are definitely easy to pick up on anyone's first try of playing the game, which makes not just for a great single-player session, but also a highly addictive 2-player session, which is something that should be appreciated in this era of gaming. Nintendo did it right with this game. The graphics are silly yet fitting for it, and above all, everything about this game has that classic NES charm, from the music to the ice rink to the good old-fashioned hockey brawl, and of course, the Zamboni cutscenes between periods. Ice hockey is the most solidly executed and consistently enjoyable game in Nintendo's early NES sports series, and it's just a joy to play. In my opinion, this was one of the best early sports titles for the NES, and is quite often an overlooked title. Sure, Nintendo's ice hockey might not have authentic teams, rosters, or even different hockey rinks, but hey, its simplicity and wholesomeness that has never been matched for any sports game that I've played on the Nintendo, and I highly recommend a glance at it. The game's highly addictive, and if you take my word for it, it will be one of your favorites. But then again, what's my word? In my opinion, ice hockey is the ultimate sports game for people that do not like sports games. Despite the simple graphics, ice hockey is one fine product of gameplay. And to me, that's priceless. This game, played with a friend, can be fun for several hours. There's so much depth and control available for a 2-button game, and this presentation is so charming that I can't help but love it. Now, what I really like about ice hockey is not only is it a great game, but it's also an affordable, great game. And everybody knows how much of a cheap ass I am. And if you're a fellow cheap ass like me, you can find ice hockey anywhere for a pretty good price. In addition, it also has been re-released several times, including on the Wii's Virtual Console. So it's accessible, which is a good thing. And that's all for now, guys. Ta-ta! Hope you enjoyed the review. This is Ice Hockey for the NES.